How's it going, everyone? Today we're going to learn how to build a $1 million retirement portfolio, and all you need is either your phone or laptop, and that's pretty much it. It's a numbers game here. I'm going to show you all of the numbers, exactly how much you need to invest depending on your age, so we can reach that $1 million by the time you retire, which is the age of 67. So there are three ways we could go about it, three vehicles of investment. That could either be a 401k, an IRA, or a brokerage account. Now, the 401k and IRA, they are retirement accounts. A brokerage account is not a retirement account. The reason why you may want to go with that is if you want to maybe retire before 67 years old, and you can take your money out anytime you want. But regardless, all three ways are great ways to invest and reach that $1 million by retirement. So first, let's break down the differences between all of them. We'll start with the 401k. Your maximum contribution a year is $19,500 if you're under the age of 50. Maximum contribution of $26,000 if you're 50 years or older. And of course, all of the contributions each year can lower your taxable income for that year. So that's a major benefit with the 401k. Moving on to the IRA, has some similarities. It has a maximum contribution limit, although it's much lower. It's $6,000 a year if you're under the age of 50. And if you're 50 or older, it is $7,000 a year. And just like the 401k, you can deduct your contributions from your taxable income, so you're paying less on taxes. Now we have the brokerage account. It's not a retirement account, but it could still produce the same results, if not even better results than a 401k or IRA, because there's an unlimited yearly amount of contributions. You could put in as much money as possible, but the downfall, you cannot deduct from your taxable income. That's one of the only downfalls. However, you can handpick stocks, bonds, and ETFs for virtually no cost at all. IRAs and 401ks might have a very small cost, but that's something that you need to look into before you pick which route you want to go to. 401k could be from an employer, and they can match whatever you put in. All these things you got to look into, but the most important thing to know is how much does the market go up on average each year? And the magic number is 10% a year. So with that number in mind and understanding how compound interest works, we need to take a look at the numbers of how much you need to invest to hit that $1 million mark by retirement. Now, I understand if you're watching this video, you may be 20, you may be 30, you may be 40 or even 50 years old, so the numbers will vary. And obviously, the younger you are, the less money you need to put in. So we are going to break down your weekly and monthly contributions for each age group that you are in. We'll start with 20 years old. The magic number for 20 years old, every single week, all you have to put in is $22. That comes to $92 a month. For 30, a little bit higher, it comes in at $56 a week or $242 a month. For some people, that's a day's worth of work. 40, it's $152 or $659 a month. Still very doable. And for 50, hopefully you are in a higher position where you can afford this, $454 or a little over $1,900 a month. Obviously, if you're 20 years old, the picture is right here. If you're younger, start investing as soon as possible. It's so cheap. Let's break it down yearly now. So 20 years old is a little over $1,000. Very, very doable for a year. 30 years old, little under $3,000. That is still extremely doable. For 40 years old, just under $8,000. And for 50 years old, you might have to swallow this pill. It's $23,000. It is a little bit on the larger side, And for all your 20-year-olds, look at that number. You want to be 53 having to put up $23,000 a year or only 2,000? Or I'm sorry, 1,000. So you might be thinking, okay, I know the numbers now. Where do I start? What should I download? Should I go with the brokerage account, IRA? What's even out there? Well, you may have heard of Robinhood or Webull. There's also other accounts like TD Ameritrade or M1 Finance. M1 Finance is unique because it has both an IRA or a brokerage account. So I have both. I have all four of these brokerage accounts, and I'm able to invest in companies like Apple or Facebook, Netflix, and Microsoft. I own all four of these companies, and they've been doing great for me, and you can easily get in on the action and start making money. And one thing you need to understand with these bigger companies, as I said before, the Standard & Poor 500 goes up 10% a year. It is very easy to attain that, but these bigger companies, they are going up at a much quicker rate over the past decade. They're going up 20, 30, even 40% a year. So you could reach that $1 million mark very quickly, way before retirement, and you could get into that $2, $3, $4, even $5 million marks, depending on how aggressive you are with investing. But now you know the numbers. You know what you need to do. You could rewind this video, go back to that little chart that I had that shows you exactly how much that you need to invest in, and do that. And for the younger crowd, the 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds, stop buying that $5 Starbucks coffee every single day. Stop going out and drinking 2 times a night. And stop buying expensive food at restaurants. These are all money wasters. You could instead invest this in the market, and it could be making you money. You got to make these small sacrifices in life so you could retire with plenty of money in the bank. And what's the light at the end of the tunnel with all of this? You could be sitting on a tropical beach by the time you're 67 or earlier, depending on how much you invest in. And you could just be living life doing exactly what you want and not having to work another day in your life. That is the goal here. You clicked on this video because you want to know exactly what you have to do. You have that information now. And for those of you who already know, here is an M1 Finance account that I set up. This isn't my main account that I use. I like to use TD Ameritrade. But if you want to know how to set up an M1 Finance account, you could click on the link at the top right corner. That walks you through how to set it up. This was a couple of months ago. As you can see, I'm already up 20% over the course of just a few months in this. My main account is where most of my money is. But whether you download an M1 Finance account, a Robinhood, a TD Ameritrade, there's all these little buttons called Auto Invest. And I think M1 Finance does the best, especially because you could either make a regular brokerage account, an IRA, or a Roth IRA, or roll over your 401k all into M1 Finance. It's a very powerful tool. And just go right up here and click on, right? Turn Auto Invest on, and depending on your age, if you're 22 years old, you know it's $92 a month. Or if you're 30 years old, you're putting in a little bit more. You're putting in $242 a month. If you're 50 or 60, you know the numbers. That is all you have to do. Just go to the minimum cash balance. How much do you want to invest? Here you go, right here. You need to invest at least $25, but you can update this to exactly what you need to invest in. And just because you're 20 years old doesn't mean you have to do the minimum amount of $92 a month. If you could afford $150 a month, do it. And you will be into the multi-millions by the time you retire. But it's that easy. Start today, open a brokerage account, watch my other videos to learn how to start investing, how to invest in things like ETFs or individual stocks, and just start putting a couple $100 in there a month, especially if you're young. I cannot stress that enough. And you are setting yourself up for being very wealthy hitting that $1 million mark way before retirement.